But then you kind of make a shift and you get into back serving the youth community. My younger brother at the time played, for anyone who doesn't know, the Elite 11 is like the marquee top. It used to be you take 11, but now I guess they take, what is it, 20 something, and then they pick the 11. But anyway, that Elite 11, you can see it on TV. It's on ESPN. It's a big deal. You were heavily involved with that Elite 11. So you go from coaching at USC, you're spending all your time learning from Pete Carroll. But now, again, you make a little bit of a career shift and you start now going back to service, the youth community of these high school players. Talk a little bit about that for anyone who doesn't know about the Elite 11 and your time working with them, because it's a pretty unique and special event.
Yeah, well, basically, I did 4 years at SC, and as I referenced, it became a launching pad. But I was also living in LA, and I was like, this is pretty cool. Like, I got no desire to live in Iowa, or wherever. So I was like, I'm going to pivot. And I'd always loved television and storytelling, and living in LA, you kind of get thrown into that fire as well. And I had heard about this thing called the Elite 11. And the guy who ran it, his name is Andy Bark. I know your producer is a Cal grad. Like, he's a Cal grad. He's getting inducted into their Hall of Honor in the next couple of weeks. But Andy had created these set of camps starting in 1999. And he created one that was specialized in quarterbacks. So for those that follow like American Idol, think of American Idol for high school quarterbacks, where the staff at Elite 11 will go around to 10 to 15 locations. And at the time, we would throw free camps for anybody who wanted to compete to show that they could play. So you didn't have guys that were left kind of diamonds in the rough. Like, if you can compete, if you could show it, here's a 5-hour window, come on and throw down and let's go. And I got lucky and stumbled in and became the host of that show and one of the coaches. And it became this beautiful experience because I was so young. I was 26, 27 when I started. And I had this coaching experience. And we had guys like Matt Leinart, John David Booty, Mark Sanchez, Matt Barkley, like really talented 5-star kids coming through. And everybody else came through. Jimmy Clausen, Tim Tebow, like everybody took a visit to USC. So I got to see all these guys early on. And then I dropped into it, got to meet people like your younger brother and a litany of quarterbacks over the course of the last almost 15 years now. And man, it was beautiful to watch them walk into the door, and they have this persona because they are, the world's best quarterback, and they're there to compete among the alphas of alphas at that position. And all I found that everyone has wanted to do since 2009 when I started the Elite 11, man, was drop their shoulders and just be normal. And that's what we try to cultivate in the environment. And when Trent Dilfer came on as the head coach, I think we really cranked that up and created a place for guys to just talk about like what's going on in their life and give them tools, and bring in guys like Dr. Michael Gervais or different speakers to talk about manhood like Alexis Jones and Brenda Tracy, like really powerful things beyond the X's and O's. And that kind of became my role of like, Trent is going to kill it on the QB thing, and I'm going to be that other role. I really get to know the personalities of the players, pull their stories out, give them some tools on how to share those stories, and pour into them with every resource that we have.
So you're traveling around the country. You guys are holding these camps. I remember when my brother went to the regional camp that you try to get like your golden ticket. Is that what they used to call it? Or
sure it is.
It's like the Willy Wonka golden ticket. And I remember going to watch him. I can't remember exactly where he did it. I want to say it was somewhere in North Jersey. But anyway, you're going around the country, you're watching all these obviously highly talented, most of these kids are getting recruited. Like, what was the quality that you guys saw that was pretty much a constant throughout all of these kids? We know they can throw, they're big, they're fast, but like, was there like an inherent quality that they all shared? We're talking kids that are in high school, but like when you saw them, like what jumped out at you guys the most aside from the physical stuff?
Well, that's a great question. I think, my head goes to like 2010, 7-on-7 exploded in this country, specifically in the South. So everybody, it wasn't just like great athletes. They really were great passers. And then in 2012, you were like, oh, wow, these guys have been playing since they were in like 5th grade, and they could read coverages and talk that way. So this is like your brother's class now. You're getting guys on the board, and you're like, holy, like what? These dudes know everything. But I'll say the thing that still stands out to me today, and it's magnified even more this past year because of what's going on in the world of college, I honestly think it's insecurity. Because how can't you be at that age? I can remember a guy named Shane Morris who came in your brother's class, who went to Michigan. Shane, it was the first real digital media quarterback. His avatar was he and Erin Andrews because she was doing sideline at Michigan basketball games. He was a big recruit. He was huge. And one day we have one of the days of the finals, and we're teaching a basic drive concept, right? And you're never supposed to throw the go route, right? You're never supposed to throw the go route. And he throws the go route. And he completes it, the place goes crazy, and everybody's writing about how great he is online. And practice ends, we go and watch the film, or we're sitting with him, and we're like, hey man, like you're never supposed to throw that, or whatever. And he gets dinged, and in the first initial rankings, out of those 24 kids, he's not in the top 11. And he's so nervous once he finds that out, because he goes, they're gonna kill me online. They're gonna kill me on social media. And he was living this duality of life, which you've seen a ton. I see it all the time in recruiting, especially for young college players, of external, you are elite. Internal, you know, when you turn down that film, like you made the wrong read, you know you're not one of the top 11 guys. How do you process that? So that is really the thing that I have found. And I really believe this, that the environment we've cultivated is where one will recreate these rooms where guys can walk in, and it could be one-on-one with me, or it could be Trent or Brian Stumpf, or different guys on our staff, and they can just kind of like let go. And I bet 75% of them break down in tears when they get in that moment, because there's so much building, and they don't really have the tools, as I said front load earlier, the tools to really manage it.